So I've been working out with an injury for a while now, and it's driving me nuts because I don't feel like I'm effective in the gym. Every time I'm working out, I'm dealing with pain, and it's pretty severe pain. Like I feel like I have like a hot knife in my shoulder. When you go in and you're trying to get a good workout in, and you're distracted because you can't even get your mind in the zone because you're in so much pain. And it was like it started turning into like an everyday thing. Like I couldn't go to the gym unless I was like doing legs or something. It was just going to be a bad day. So eventually I started seeing a physical therapist, and after 6 visits at a physical therapist, we still like didn't know what was wrong with me. And that was even more frustrating. Like I was about to give up, and the gym is so important to me because it supports my mental health as much as my physical health. So I was like kind of in this like circle, this like spiral that was, it was just not good. And then that's when I just kind of realized if I don't understand and start learning what's wrong with me, then I'm not going to get any better. So I started kind of taking things into my own hands and doing research to understand like how I could get better and try to build a team around me to help fix the problem. So to surround myself with that team, I went after another physical therapist, and after only a few visits with them, they were already recommending surgery as like option B. And I was like, option B, like I feel like that should be option, F. Like what about A, B, C, D, E? I just couldn't believe that they were already jumping to something as serious as surgery. And with surgery, that's just not an option for me because I serve part-time in the Ohio Air National Guard, and we have to be at a certain level of readiness at all times, and I just knew that I couldn't go through something like surgery that was going to potentially take me out for 6 months at a time. It was just, I depend on being in the gym and being active for not only my personal health, but like for my career. And so then that's when I started looking at, okay, maybe who else can I bring onto my team that is interested in coming after solving the root problem instead of just going after the symptoms. So I have my day 1 appointment at Rebel, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous, but I was also pretty skeptical about chiropractic care. I've heard a lot of different things, even from like my own dad, and I just like didn't know what to expect. And I had gone through so much letdown in the last 12 months that I just was like, this is it. Like there's no way this is gonna work either. So I'm in there with Dr. Tyler the first day, and we didn't waste any time jumping into it. And he starts my adjustment and does he does the analysis on my spine, and then he's like, all right, here we go. And we just started, and it was like the first adjustment was like mind blowing. I just remember sitting there and I could not stop laughing because, well, one, my breathing was like immediately better. I could already tell that I was getting a much fuller breath. And then, so I started like laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. We had to stop the adjustment because I couldn't stop laughing. So we start back up again, and he does 2 more adjustments on me. And I just remember I was like floating out of the office after the first adjustment and still laughing. And it was a euphoric experience. I didn't even know that something like that was even possible. And then it dawned on me that this whole time I've been having this mind-muscle disconnect, and after my first visit and having my bones put back in place, I could already tell that my brain and my nerves were communicating with my muscles 10 times better than they were an hour before I walked in the door. And the rest of that day, it just felt like $1 million. That euphoric, like physical feeling that I had coursing through my veins, that lasted like the rest of the day. And I remember meeting up with friends later on that afternoon, and I was able to just enjoy my day so much better than I had been in weeks prior, because when you're going through 6-12 months of constant pain, even if it's a dull pain, you're always thinking about it, and it's distracting. It takes you away from your conversation or or just having like a good train of thought, or just really being in the moment with your friends and family. So immediately upon leaving and going and hanging out with friends, I could already tell that I was way more present, and not to mention like not in pain, able to go to the gym that day, go back to the gym the next day without any pain, get a solid workout in, and just be able to focus on what is right in front of me instead of having to stop and adjust my shoulder and try to get something back in place or stretch. And the quality of life was just changed almost immediately. I knew that if I didn't start taking charge of these issues now, that later on down the road, when I was 40, 50 years old, I was gonna be like that decrepit old man who can't even throw a baseball with his son or something like that. And I don't need to be at the point where I'm functioning like a professional athlete or anything, but just for my own quality of life, to be like the best version of myself, to be able to stay fit and stay ready with the Air Force, that's the top priority. And just being able to keep my mental health sharp. These were all things that I knew I needed to take care of now. Yeah, so bottom line, I realized that if I was going to become the best version of myself in the long run, that I needed to make better decisions on a daily basis. And one of the best decisions that I made in that process was starting chiropractic care at Rebel. I'm Nate Rumbaugh. I'm an airman, I'm an artist, and I'm an extra not professional athlete. And chiropractic care helps me be all these things.